Okay, so today I'll be talking about a proposal to use data and data analysis to help the continuous improvement plan close identified gaps. Background is that I'm taking classes to become a teacher. I'm not currently a teacher. I've been volunteering and researching ways to improve Cheney Elementary School. That's the elementary school where I volunteer. Progress to date is for Cheney Elementary School on their kind of gap assessment is that they do now have a director level data analysis resource to look at data for the elementary. That's a shared resource among the middle school and high school. They have identified gaps for data integration, bringing the data from all the different sources and trying to integrate that, and a gap in really having the teachers having identified time to utilize the data, not just look at it, but how do you drive that data to individual improvement plans for each student. So the desired outcome, I guess, for kind of the CI or continuous improvement would be to have an individual development plan for each student, and for teachers to feel confident in data and having time to analyze it. So, in our reading, one of the ones that we usually did, one of the recent things that was kind of a free way to do that, and we've discussed using the Google tools to help ensure all students and teachers are using the technology that they've already had for the last few years, so identifying which ones need retraining. Also using Google Forms to give, grade, and analyze tests as well as quizzes to give students access to their quiz scores, individual access so they can see their trends over time. And also using the education demographic data for this director level person to have to look to see if we are if there's equity in the funding that Cheney Elementary School is receiving for their digital resources compared to the schools in the area. So using some of those free tools first before going to the next level. So I don't know, I think that's been, that's about the time for my presentation here. And I was wondering if you guys had any questions. Uh-huh. Right now, the idea is that both the students and the teachers have that data available to them. So it would help students to be motivated if they can see the trend lines going up, staying the same, or actually going down. So seeing how they receive that data to motivate them or have a discussion with their teachers. Could also be available to parents later on during the parent-teacher conferences. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, that person, they were on board last year as well. They are they work help with the computer things as well, but they are just dedicated to analyzing the data, keeping the assessment calendars with the teacher, and helping to bring that team together to discuss the data for the individual grade levels. Would you have students? I think it would just be looking at the data. From my understanding for those forms is that it's a way to actually grade exams and integrate that data automatically, so it doesn't have, the teachers don't have to take the time to trend that data and at a glance. So it saves time, but it also gives you visibility. So, any other questions? Okay, I guess I was wondering what, in terms of help that you guys might provide, what is the best way that you guys feel to drive data system integration for continuous improvement? So, you know, we hear the teachers saying that there's a lot of different forms of data and there's different ways to integrate it. I think right now, Cheney Elementary doesn't have one way to collect it other than a resource to try to look at all those data points together. So do you have any ideas for that?
Well, my idea would be to try to get teachers to do it. I think you have to kind of create the culture first, and that's the vision, and why they're going to do it, how they fit into that. I think that's key. And then maybe like check sheets, how do you do that? Move into that. You got to do something where you celebrate because if people are because of that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I like that. Go ahead. Sorry. Okay. Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. I like those ideas. So I think if I could summarize, I think I definitely like the idea of celebrating the successes, and I think that's very important, right? People hear the negativity all too often, right? And you almost have to emphasize the positive, way more than the negative, to really celebrate those successes appropriately. I like the idea of goal setting, and having the students set their own goals. Definitely agree with the discussion that goals are very individual, and 1 point could mean the world to one student, where a 50% increase is relevant to another student, and feasibility of one student to another student is going to be different. So I like the idea of helping, or at least first asking students to be, or giving them the opportunity to be self-motivated before you say exactly what their goal is going to be. I like the idea of teacher teams sharing data to look at trends, whether that's within the school, among different classes, or for individual students. And I definitely like the idea of collaborating among teachers. So I think those are all very helpful ideas. And so I guess next step is to continue to strive towards individual development plans for those students, and talk to Cheney Elementary administrators as well as the director that was hired as far as next steps, and hopefully identify some goals for next year. So thank you all for your input.
Yay.
Yay.